This is one of my favorite sneaky V entrances. That being said, it's not necessarily the easiest sneaky V entrance. So I would recommend before trying out this sneaky V entrance, I would recommend starting from a brass sit, brass monkey descent to a sneaky V, which I find is an easier one. But that being said, don't feel like you have to have mastered another transition, the brass sit entrance, before trying this one out. Sometimes we learn in different orders, right? So for this one, we're going to be starting from the ground. That's where it gets deceptive, is sometimes there's this feeling that because we're on the ground, it's easier. Difference is when we do the aerial version, we're kind of dropping down into it, kind of using gravity to our advantage if we're using right technique. This one, because we're so close to the ground, we can't go any lower. So making sure that your technique is right on can be a little bit more important. So for this one, the hand that is going to be on top in your sneaky V is going to be your outside hand, your hand farthest from the pole, which of course then means inside hand is going to be fingers facing down. Inside leg is the trapped one. And I think sometimes, I don't know about you, but for me, sometimes if I've entered something from another entrance, I go from a new entrance and I get all backwards on which hand goes where. So just breaking that down so you can plan ahead. Outside hand of the pole, inside leg. So this one, depending on your flexibility, it's going to look different for everyone, okay? The higher you can get your leg, the more room you have to slide your bottom arm, which will make the entrance into this easier. Different bodies, different shapes. I have very long arms. I have an 8 factor of like 4 inches, which means for me, it's really important that I get this leg up really high so I have room to drop this bottom arm. Otherwise, I'm going to end up smushed, cramping in my shoulder, going to make it harder to hit it. You might have shorter arms than myself, and it might mean that you don't have to slide that arm quite so far, okay? So it's going to be a balance between how high your top hand is, which also means how high this leg needs to go, which can get into some flexibility issues, and how low you have to slide this hand. It's going to be different for everyone. So take my body positioning as a reference, but it might not be the same as your body positioning. Okay, so if your flexibility does not go up that high, don't write it off. It might still be 100% in your wheelhouse, just with a little variation. Okay, so for this, I'm gonna go to the back side of the pole so you can kind of see what's happening from the side. My outside hand, we already discussed, is going to be going under the knee of my inside leg. And I wanna heft this hand up as high as I can. Really important here, my side butt, hamstring, abductors, IT band, I want it to the side of the pole, okay? You want to make sure that you're not sitting on the pole with your butt here, because as we go into the sneaky V, my butt needs to swoosh over to this side. And if my butt is right here, yes, it's great for a brass sit, but it's going to make this transition really hard because the pole's going to be blocking you, okay? So I want to make sure that my butt is to the side of the pole and not sitting on the pole. Hand is up, and then whether you do this with both legs straight, both legs bent, totally up to you. I would recommend, just like with any sneaky V entrance, keeping this inside leg bent longer until you're completely stacked in your sneaky V. And then once you're in it, then you release it. Also, for that reason, this leg, because it's hooked over my arm, is going to help hold my butt in place as I pivot back into this brass sit. Okay, so a lot of my weight is on this hand. Okay, I would say even more so than when we're doing the aerial version. The aerial version, because I can slide that bottom hand, I don't have to put quite as much weight on this arm to go through a similar transition. But because this one we're so much lower, as I said at the beginning, this leg that's resting on my arm is really being held up by that arm. Okay, so my leg is on my arm. I'm keeping it bent. That's going to make it, much easier. I would recommend starting with it that way. If it feels super comfy for you and you want to straighten it sooner, go right ahead. But I would recommend getting it with this leg bent first. Okay, so that leg is resting on the arm. Really important. Once we are ready to go into this, that outside leg is going to lift forward. Your inside hand has to slide. And here is the kicker part that gets most pullers, is as my bottom hand slides, my head needs to slide with it. Okay, quite often when I find pullers can't get this, they get into here and they go here. and my head stayed in exactly the same place, which is going to make it a bear to get into this inverted position. So think about it as if there's a string connected to this ear and this hand, and as your hand slides down, that ear doesn't have any choice other than to go with it. So if you're working on this move and you're struggling with it and you're like, why am I not getting into it? I recommend video yourself and take a look-see of what is happening with your head. Okay, so outside hand, under that inside leg, up as high as you can. Okay, you might go up on your tippy toes. Okay, you could even stand on a block. Okay, maybe if flexibility is a little bit more of a struggle for you, is putting that outside foot on a block. Make sure it's something stable you're not going to fall off of, and that way that block can be offset from the pole, so you still have room to slide that bottom hand. Okay, but as I said at the beginning, your body proportions might not need this leg to go up quite so high. Okay, so reach up, hand is nice and high, butt is to the side of the pole, not sitting on the pole. Fingers are pointing down. As my hand slides, my head drops. Last thing, open that inside leg to take me to my sneaky V. And then you can exit to your brass sit or whatever other exit that you would like to go to. This is a great one to take it up the pole, down the pole. I find this one works much better on static. You can totally do it on spinning pole, but that entrance, because it kind of just pivots this way, I find for me, it doesn't generate the best momentum for a spinning pass. If you're doing a short spinning pass, it'll definitely give you a little rotation, but if it's a prep for a big pass, not going to give you a lot. So try this one out, okay? Remember those cues of making sure that that head is dropping as you're going into it, keeping that inside leg bent and holding onto that arm as long as possible. And also, in case you couldn't tell from this, and as it usually is in Sneaky V, this top hand, was in a true grip. Same as it would be if we were entering our Sneaky V from a brass sit, a brass monkey, any of those. So try this bad boy out. Let me know how it goes. I would love to hear in the comments below, or share your videos, Insta, IG, FB, the EBFit Pole App community page. I love to see your progress and how you're doing on all of these. And of course, as always, if you would like more tutorials, complete training programs, flexibility, all the things, make sure you check out the EBFit Pole App.